Hello everyone, this is Jaron from MarineAndReef.com, and today we're doing a video on a new product. This is the Fluval Marine and Reef 4.0 LED light. Now, behind me is my office tank that we've set up in our budget reef tank build series, and this tank has been set up from the very beginning with the Marine and Reef 3.0, which is the old version of this new light. And as you can see, this tank has been doing pretty good. We got all kinds of coral. We got soft corals, LPS corals. We got a couple easy SPS corals like this Montipora here, and they've all done very, very well under the old 3.0 light. But now there's a 4.0, and you guys might want to know what's new about the 4.0, what makes it better. Well, basically, there's a few things that make this 4.0 light just a little bit better than the last 3.0 light. With the 3.0 light that I have behind me, it's completely controlled through Bluetooth, which works fine if you're close to the light. The biggest problem I've had with this is when I have had a power outage and then it came back to the tank, the light has lost the timestamp. So basically when the power goes out and it turns back on, the light thinks it's midnight and restarts the day. So I just have to connect to the light with my phone, then it resyncs the time and it starts doing its regular schedule, which is a bit annoying but not a big problem. The new light is both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, in which case if there is a power outage like we had occasionally, it'll turn off, turn back on, and then it will grab the correct timestamp from your Wi-Fi network. That way you won't have to reconnect to it to reset it. It'll automatically get resynced to the correct time. That is a great upgrade on this new 4.0 light. Additionally, it looks like they've changed the diodes a little bit. Now, Fluval hasn't published exactly what they've changed, but just looking at the spec list, the new light is supposed to be a little bit brighter, which is welcome because I have been running this light at full power on this tank and it's been enough, but I always like a little bit more. And then lastly, I believe they may have changed the color of this light. Again, I haven't seen the exact specs from Fluval. They're kind of cryptic and new and redesigned. But to me, this light has always looked just a little bit too white and I'd like a little bit more blue pop. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and take some PAR values with this light. That is photosynthetic active radiation. This will give us an idea of how much usable light the corals are getting now with the 3.0 light. Then we're going to swap this light out for the 4.0 light, put it over it, get some new PAR values to see just how much brighter it really is, if it matches what Fluval says. And then we're also going to just visually tell you guys, does it look any better? Have they improved how the light looks? We're just going to check the sand. Kind of right under this frog spawn, we're getting about 70 to 75 PAR. By the green star, we're getting just over 80. And then up at the top where this Montipora is growing, looks like just under 100 PAR in the 90s. So let's go ahead and swap out this light for the new light and see what values we get. All right, so we've gone ahead and put our new Fluval 4.0 light over the tank. I can tell you guys immediately just from looking at this, it does look visually brighter than before, but let's look at the numbers in kind of the same locations and see how they compare to the previous numbers that we've got. So we're going to take our PAR meter. So we're looking probably right below this guy. It's hopping around quite a bit. 100, which is definitely higher than we were before. In the 90s. Let's go ahead and try by that green star. We're looking about 100, which is definitely a little bit brighter and higher than before. And up by the Montipora, we're at 125-ish, 120, which is also higher than before. So it does look like this is indeed a little bit brighter. The specs on Fluval's website list this as roughly about 10% more lumens. Now that's light, not necessarily usable light. And I'd say that's probably about what we're getting as an increase, about a 10% increase. Just so you guys know, on the old light, I did clean it off. I know it's a 1.5 years old to get it as clean as possible to give it the best chance. And it just appears that this one is a little bit brighter than the last one. The next thing we'd like to know is the color of this light. Now, from looking at this with all the LEDs turned on, I would say the color looks very similar to the old version of the light, with just the exception that this light is brighter. Now, one of my personal disappointments with the last light is I couldn't really get a lot of fluorescent pop out of it. I mean, a lot of times we like that kind of Windex look with the nice fluorescence in our corals, and I just felt like I never got a huge amount of that. However, with this one, once I pull the whites out and run it as just the blues, it does look like I am getting more overall fluorescence. So we're going to go ahead and change the light through the app so it looks like that, and then give you guys an idea of what the tank looks like when it's all blue. All right, so at least to me, this does look a little bit better. So if you're somebody who enjoys your tank in the morning and evening with this blue look, I think you are going to be a little bit happier with this new light versus the last one. The last thing I can't quite show you, but this light having both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, the advantage of Bluetooth is that if your Wi-Fi network has weird security features that makes it hard to add devices, you can just control it through Bluetooth. And actually, the 2.0 Fluval light had Wi-Fi. They switched to Bluetooth to avoid those problems. This light really is the best of both worlds where it has both. And what that means is you don't have to worry about needing to connect to a Wi-Fi network if you have those issues. But if you do, you get the advantage of the light automatically resyncing with the cloud whenever there's a power outage, so it just runs a lot more smoothly. And I think that that combination of both together is a very real upgrade. If you like this video on the new Fluval 4.0 light, then like and subscribe for more. We'll have new Reef Aquarium videos for you.